A friend of mine is big up into drugs. Anything on this planet, you name it, he's got it. Anyway, he picked up a bunch of mushrooms and me and 3 friends each bought 2 grams for ourselves. Now, 2 grams might not seem like a lot, but as we were leaving, he told us to be careful. He said that these mushrooms were fucking incredible. About an hour later, we arrived at my friend's house and the second we walked inside, we all started grubbing down the poison. Well, they were kickers, they hit us before we were even done eating them. I already had a nice body high and slight visuals, and so did everyone else. We were all lying out on the deck, staring at the sky, smoking some kind buds, just having a blast. We all thought it was gonna be the best trip anyone could ever have, but shortly after that, everything went wrong. I always tend to get a little sick when I eat mushrooms, but only for a short time. I knew it would pass, so I just decided to go in and lie down. The second I was by myself on the couch, my body went completely numb and all I could see were massive amounts of colored patterns zooming all over the place. Then out of nowhere, it started to storm outside, which kinda sucked because we were all having a great time chillin' outside. Now everyone was inside, tripping nuts, laughing our asses off, and then one kid wigged. He started screaming stuff about Armageddon and how we need to praise the Lord, and he was crawling around on the floor yelling out gibberish and whatnot. That scared another kid and he freaked out and ran upstairs. By this time, me and the only other kid who were staying into reality were having the wildest trip you could ever imagine. Me and this kid sat on the couch shaking, wondering what was gonna happen to all of us. We had no clue these mushrooms were this powerful. Everything I looked at was bouncing at me and sinking into the ground. I couldn't shake the visuals for at least 4 to 5 hours no matter how hard I tried to. And this all happened not even an hour and a half after we ate them, so we knew that if it was already that bad, it would only get worse, and it did. The kid who was screaming had calmed down and was lying in the middle of the floor, staring at the wall. He didn't move for at least 3 hours. I went upstairs to see how the other one was doing. He was sitting in a chair and looked like he was gonna start bawling. He told me that he was having a really weird trip, and that he needed to go for a walk. I tried so hard to keep him into reality and to keep him at the house, since it was storming outside, windy and very cold. But before I knew it, he walked out the door. Me and my other friend tried to make the best out of things, before realizing that the kid who said he was going for a walk, wasn't coming back. By this time it had been at least 2 hours since he had left, and we were still tripping pretty hard. I know shrooms can fuck with your emotions, and it never happened to me, until I felt like I was sobering up. So I turned on my cell phone and I had a message from my girlfriend. I gave her and her friend some mushrooms earlier that day. All I heard on the message was her crying and telling me that I needed to call her as soon as possible, that she didn't know what was going on. I tried to call the number she was at and I never got an answer. I eventually talked to her around midnight or so, 5 hours after eating the mushrooms, and everything was all good. Thank God. Oh yeah. It's midnight, where the fuck is that kid? Last thing I knew he was going for a walk and now he's been gone for 2.5 hours? Me and the other kid decided that we had to look for him, no matter what. So we go outside. It's dark, it's raining, it's windy, there's lightning and thunder, and then bam, visuals kicked it and my body high increased way up again. We walked up the street only to find ourselves standing in the middle of a dark, deserted park. We looked at each other and couldn't handle it. We were too scared, so we headed back. It turns out that the kid who freaked out had probably sobered up, since he was lying on the couch sleeping when we returned. We found out the next day that the kid who went for a walk, walked home. What a moron. So, we 3 sat there in the living room, smiling and staring at each other in disbelief. What an experience. And just for the hell of it, we ordered a pizza. Turns out my friend had 4 more caps left, as he had bought more than the rest of us. So we put them on the pizza and ate them. Soon after that I had a cool little float feeling and my vision was blocked off by lots of pretty little colors dancing around the walls and ceiling. I wish I could have described this trip a little better, as I can't remember everything because, yeah, these mushrooms were that good. Eating mushrooms like these makes me never want to eat acid again, 'cause if you can control it, then a mushroom trip is far better.